was made clear by what the army, what the chief of staff said today. But I'm not so sure about that. Because it's quite clear that the honeymoon with the Americans is over and everything Obama is going to do on foreign policy will be a U-turn, won't it, Maruf, of what George Bush has done so far?
Well, my understanding is, and I want to address this question to Mr. Hussain, that, the Obama administration has kind of hinted at and in some instances made it clear that America's policy in Afghanistan is linked to a certain degree of stability in Pakistan. And as long as the issues of extremism that have taken fairly substantial root in Pakistan are not addressed, America feels it's not going to be able to make enough headway in Afghanistan. So my question is, A, would you be seeing the Obama administration taking any more proactive steps in addressing some of your internal problems, which, you would feel that rightly you can address? And equally importantly, linked to today's statement that if U.S. aid is withheld due to reasons of accountability, then how would Pakistan be able to up the ante with the U.S. and still get the aid out of the U.S.? I mean, what is Pakistan's trump card on that issue?
Well, I think it's very clear that the U.S. strategy in Afghanistan is largely dependent on Pakistani cooperation. The cooperation of the government and state of Pakistan, the cooperation of Pakistan's military, and the cooperation of Pakistan's intelligence services. And we would need support from the US in capacity building of our own paramilitary and military forces, because our military has never been trained in counterinsurgency, which is the biggest issue on the Western Front. And now they are doing that regarding our paramilitary forces. And regarding the stoppage of aid, I think that's stick they'd like to bandy around, and they've done it in the past just to blackmail Pakistan, put pressure on Pakistan. But that won't work because it takes two to tango, as I said before. And without Pakistani cooperation, they cannot move forward. And I think such language should now be avoided, because Bush used such language and that was counterproductive. Do more, either you're with us or against us. That won't work. US now needs a healing touch vis-a-vis its relationship with the Muslim world, with Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the other countries, including the Middle Eastern countries. And they have to have more humility in foreign policy, which Barack Hussein Obama also pointed out in his refreshing inaugural address yesterday. So I feel that there would be a change in policy. There are certain old sentiments and old thinking, but that has to change because the ground realities are different, and the ground realities require concerted cooperation between Pakistan and Afghanistan.
If I understand you correctly, Mr. Hussain, if I understand you correctly, and let's take a round of reactions on this. Pakistan's, at least the establishment's thinking is, as Mushahid Hussain said, it takes two to tango. It's not about what we need to do in Afghanistan, but that who needs whom more. And the understanding in Islamabad is America needs Islamabad more than Islamabad needs America. I just want to get your thoughts on that, Casey. Are they completely wrong there? Or is Obama being naive by trying to be aggressive with Islamabad on day one?
I think this statement, to which Pakistan, certain elements in Pakistan have reacted, official elements, is really on the White House site. It is called the Foreign Policy Agenda.
Yes.
So it's early times. However, I think let's be very clear that ground has shifted a bit. Today there was a news item that US has sorted out with Russia access through Central Asia for Afghanistan. I think they had an outstanding problem over Georgia. NATO's had a problem with Russia. So I think if they've decided to engage Russia, which the Bush administration was not willing to, then it opens up the option of the Central Asian access to Afghanistan, which is the main pressure point that Pakistan has on NATO and the US forces, because 75% of the supplies which are going to the NATO forces, ISAF forces, are going via Khyber from Karachi. So one of the pressure points is off. Second thing we must remember is, even though the government has changed, Defense Secretary is the same. And the Defense Secretary has a very interesting history. He was the number 2 in the CIA during the Reagan times. So he's seen this whole cycle of deception, duplicity, ISI playing a different game on a different page from what the Americans were wanting. And then he was also acting director of CIA. And the book in which all this is listed is Ghost Wars, which is one of the books, and probably the principal book, which President Obama has read. So it's very interesting that he has developed a perspective, and he's looking at the area not completely afresh. I think he's coming with a degree of historical perspective.
I'm just very curious to get a sense from our guest from Pakistan, what your assessment is of the situation. Because there is a feeling that Obama is going to look through a completely different lens towards the Afghanistan-Pakistan problem?
You see, that is, see, Americans, you know, they are in a difficult situation, and they have every right to look at it from a new angle. So far as Pakistan is concerned, you know, this question is framed, in my humble opinion, a bit subjectively.
Okay.
The question is whether Pakistan has a stake in fighting what is the problem in Pakistan. So if the Americans say you have to do something about the terrorists or the militants, this is Pakistan's own interest. Pakistan will do it.
No, the question is different, with all respect, sir. The question is that so far, Mr. Rahman, it is Pakistan which has decided foreign policy initiatives in Afghanistan. It's Pakistan which has played the strategic role. Now the sense is that it's America which plays the strategic role and Pakistan is only the implementer.
Well, that is debatable. That's debatable. That Pakistan has been dictating Afghanistan. That's debatable. But actually, you know, we should not read in the one statement more than we deserve. You know, if we want to be happy about it, that's different.
Okay, sure.